Hey, beautiful people. How are we doing? I am Anitra N. Lawson, storyteller, producer, educator, content creator. He is Dr. Andre Evans.
What's up, savage people?
He's my brother. He's my savage sibling. He's a pastor. He's a father. I think he might have something special in his life. He's trying to act like he can be a significant other. He's all the above author.
I'm learning. I'm getting there.
He's getting there. We are the Savage Siblings, and this is the Savage Sibling Podcast, where we are brutally honest, relentlessly transparent, and unapologetically authentic. So glad you guys are here for another episode. Bro, what's up? Checking in on you. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. Let me go ahead and clear the air. You talking about I might. As soon as she hear this one, it's going to be a whole bunch of problems.
I didn't want to put you out there. I wasn't sure.
yeah, ain't no might to it.
Right.
God has definitely brought someone in my life. Listen, we dealing with doubt today. Let there be no doubt.
Let there be no doubt.
Let there be no doubt. Even the doubt in which your sibling is trying to create in your life.
Right.
Listen, this is a level of hate and destruction that you siblings like me, we know about. If the older siblings absolutely are fully aware of how younger siblings tried to destroy their name, their reputation, try to destroy
we
everything.
Just try to clarify.
Going on. They don't clarify to it. You know how women are.
Right.
I think. No.
Don't think.
No. Let there be no doubt. Let there be no doubt. But all is good. It's so funny. This week that we're going to be dealing with this issue of doubt, and this week, it's a transition, right? That I'm getting ready to make. Moving from independence, then married, then another 10-year stint of independence, and now moving back into a very God-ordained led, serious relationship. And there are moments in that transition where I've been asking myself, did I learn everything I needed to learn from the first time around? And the reason why those moments come back is because every now and then, you can have all the faith you want to have, but every now and then there'll be these trigger moments in life where you say to yourself, I don't know if I'm all the way there.
Right. Am I ready?
Am I really ready? And I don't mean that in a negative or a positive way. It just kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
And you've got to, there's all kinds of things in life that require this level of certainty. And it doesn't mean you're going to know everything that's going to happen. But what it does mean is that you know how you're going to respond regardless of what happens. And for me, on a personal level, that's what this week has been. How are you going to respond if this happens? How are you going to respond if that happens? And it's not just about the relationship. It's about life, because I'm also, I'm seeing the ministry grow as to Mediaworks is in this path towards growth. So we're doing all the things we need to do to push forward. But there be those moments then where something comes up. Somebody says something. Somebody look at you a certain way. Somebody try to get you to do a certain thing. And it sounds good, but then you remember, wait a second, that's what got me caught up the first time. And so then it's, I learn the lesson? And there's times where that lingering thought, that lingering feeling, that lingering notion brings about this small moment of doubt. Did you really learn the lesson? And I'm going to say this, and we'll get into it, but I feel like that's a good thing.
Yes,
absolutely. I feel like that's a good thing when that happens, because there are times where I can really go into this level of rejoice or happiness when that happens, because I can say the fact that I thought about it, and lets me know there's a change. The fact that I thought about whether or not I should speak in tongues at this person
Right.
means I've made some headway.
Right.
I've made some head. The fact that I thought about how much bond money do I have left on my AAA card
That
means
part.
I made some headway. Just the other day, I was looking at Corey. The fact that I thought about whether or not to lay hands on her, let me know.
There's growth.
God
Progress.
is working. God is working on me, and there's progress. Yes,
Right.
there's absolutely growth and progress simply because there was a moment of doubt, and so that's what this week has been. Just thanking God that I am making progress in some of these areas, and it's great.
It's great.
I'm not cussing as much.
Right.
So anyways, that's me. What's been good with you?
That's great. I love hearing that. You know, I was low-key frustrated this week because God is in my prayer time, just, as I'm looking at things day to day, he keeps talking to me about resting. And I feel like we've been on that for a minute now. And so, me, I'm like, well, what you mean? And I'm going through the back and forth. But this week has been about like actively seeking spaces to rest and finding ways to rest. But something God gave me a day or two ago when I was up in the morning was he said, you're going to need that rest, which is different from rest. Now it's like, you're going to need it. I was like, wait a minute. Like all this, hold on now. So all this past discussion and my actively working to have a Sabbath and all these things, now I'm kind of just like an anticipation. And I remember when I was pregnant with Malachi, all of my friends, family members, colleagues were all like, take as much of the maternity leave as possible. Don't leave any on the table. Like if they give you, this much time, take it all. And I remember wanting to just, keep working until I absolutely had to go. But I listened to wisdom from people who've been through it before me and said, no, let me go ahead and take this time off. And Malachi came 2 weeks early. Right. And so I was so glad that I listened to their wisdom and got out early. And there were times when I was off and I was walking. I was like, man, I don't have anything to do. And so, I think that's kind of what God has me in the space of some other things professionally, spiritually are being birthed. And he's like, that's why I've been telling you for so long, rest. Because when this hits, then you need to not only one, have it kind of as part of your lifestyle, but you will have already built up some rest for what the next season is. So I said, okay, Lord, as soon as you told me that I'm gonna need it, now I'm like, okay. So now I'm seeking moment. I'm taking naps in cars. I'm in the elevator, closing my eyes, meditating.
The older I get, the more I realize God does some of his best work when I'm asleep and out of his way. And so I absolutely, all God has to be like Andre, and I'm asleep. I'm out.
Yeah, he's snoring.
Go do your work.
Rhythmic breathing.
That's it. I'm in that rim. I'm in that deep rim, that circadian rhythm rim. Like, oh, you ain't got to tell me twice, Lord. You want me to get out the way? I got you. Like, I don't be asking, Lord, well, what you want me to do while I wait? I know what I'm going to do.
And rest is different from sleeping, so he's teaching me too. Like, you going to learn.
All of that.
Not just go to sleep. You going to rest in the sleep. So.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I am certified in following the Lord in rest.
Sleep study, rest study.
Right now. Listen.
That's dope. Let's jump into our sound off segment.
Sound off segment. Sound off.
No doubt. I love it. Our sound off, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, this particular episode is entitled "The Right Side of Doubt." The right side of doubt. And it was so interesting when we were originally talking about this, Nikki. We oftentimes kind of label doubt as a negative thing.
Right.
But sometimes doubt can be a good thing. So when we're thinking about the right side of doubt, like we're really talking about, how do we manage doubt successfully? And I don't mean just moving it into a successful situation. How do we manage the status, when you're in this moment stasis of doubt? How do you make that the good thing?
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we're talking about when we say get on the right side of doubt. And I think one of the things we have to immediately do is just kind of understand, well, what are those things that cause doubt? So that I know what to get on the right side of.
That's good.
So earlier, I'm talking about these triggers that I have in life that are saying, Andre, you really ready for, marriage again? Are you really ready for
Mm,
entrepreneurship again? Are you really ready for, to really take your ministry to the next level? And those triggers, I could stay on one side of or get on
mm-hmm.
the other side of, and it all depends on how I see doubt. Do I
Yes.
see doubt holding me back from where I'm destined, or
Mm-hmm.
do I see doubt pushing me into a divine destination?
Right.
Which side of
That's
doubt
good.
will
That's
I
good.
be on? So to me, that's kind of that first question. I'd love to hear your kind of response there is,
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
are, how would you introduce doubt? What are these things that cause doubt
Mm-hmm.
that many of us are facing or dealing with?
That's so good. And huge shout out to you because you already, laid the foundation that as we're trying to even define doubt, our siblings really help that foundation and even that
Oh, yes, they do.
definition,
Yes, they
because
do.
they, we watch each other go through the highs and lows of life setbacks, failures, all the pros and cons. And so your sibling
Yeah.
has such a good understanding of the
Hmm.
complexity of Anitra, of the layers of Andre,
Yeah, absolutely.
of their language that they speak from the time that they're 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way to 30s, 40s, 50s and beyond. And so siblings
Right.
really do help us identify doubt and then the pros and cons. And so I always think about, you guys know, my brother is an introvert, and he's
Oh, yeah.
had to deal with me for 40 years of coming to him with all of my setbacks and frustrations, but he became that staple go-to person for me for so many things. And so I want to unpack this, starting with a question to you, bro. you know how many times do you think Anitra has experienced heartbreak? Just a general, you don't have to give a specific hard number, but just like, generally, I have probably come to you, quite a bit, quite
Quite
often,
a bit. That's the number I'm giving. Quite a
quite a
bit.
bit, right?
That's the number. Yeah, that's the number.
He's dealt it from elementary age to college to post college. Like he's dealt with it, but he is that person I go to. And let me be clear, it is always Anitra initiating. Bro, like he might text and be like, "Yite," like
Right.
might text an emoji like, "Just thinking about you, no need to call," just.
Right.
But he knows that when I call and I'm at that space where I'm trying to deal with something, and a lot of time there's romantic heartbreak involved, but there was a time where I had just broken up with a young man, and I was pretty frustrated with the whole situation, and I called you, bro, and was like, "Hey,
Mhm.
this is where I'm at," and I was done, y'all. I was like, Solo Bolo is my nickname for the rest of life's journey. Like, I'm cool on this, and I was frustrating. And what Andre heard was, he's heard the hesitation, he heard the wavering, and I always give him credit for this because what he said, as he's hearing me just kind of vent up and express my hurt and kind of my doubt, my frustration with my future where marriage was concerned, he didn't allow me to focus on that side of it. Instead,
Mhm,
he just said
mhm.
to me simply, sis, he said, when you pray, don't ask God to bring you a husband, ask God to make you a wife.
Yeah, yeah,
And it just stuck with
yeah.
me, one, because it was practical. But in the context of what we're talking about for this episode, he was redefining my mindset to doubt.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
redirecting my mindset. Yes, we could talk about this last brother and why he wasn't and why you didn't and what all that. I want you to
Mhm.
focus on being who you know you were called and gifted and made to be. You know you're a wife. So let's not go down that path of what happened. It's past. It's over. Y'all moved on. Let's focus on letting God make you and continue to shape you into who he's already destined you to be. And that's what I
Yeah,
think your siblings do. And they do, we do it so effectively because we've known each other for so long. So we've
right.
already been through the ups and downs. And so we know how to help you put your energy and say the things that'll help you focus on, in this case, the right side of doubt. And so I was just so grateful that you could make it that simple. Now, that's your nature too, because you don't like a whole lot
Right.
of talking
Because
about
I
it.
I ain't been do a whole lot of so
But
small
he
talk.
was
Mm-mm.
processing what are the fewest amount of words that I need to say to my
Right.
sister to get her on the right side of doubt and then get me back to watching my football game. Like, it's usually in that order, right? And so, we value that in siblings. And so absolutely, I believe siblings help us to properly define or redefine doubt and make sure that we can see where's the right side and where's the wrong side. The other thing I'll add to it, and I'll just kick it back to you, it's also comes in our youth. Like when we're young, bro, there's a level of
Hmm.
fearlessness that I think
Absolutely.
we lose over time, right? Like I
Right,
remember
right,
watching you
right.
growing up. We grew up in the Midwest, as you guys know, and my brother was that one. He was that dude that would find the tallest, highest hill or sidewalk with his skateboard, a stick, some duct tape, and whatever else. And he had designed some sort of loop-de-loop event that he was going to fly down this, jump over moving traffic, do a somersault and land on the other side, scratchless. Nothing was going to happen. Everybody else looking
Right.
like, you about to do what? You about to do what? Nah. But in his mind, it was like, yeah, I can do this. And that's really what I
Yeah.
love about us when we're young is
Hmm.
we have that fearlessness. So it doesn't matter. We believe we can be the president of the United States. We believe we can own the
Yeah,
largest
yeah.
fashion company. We believe it. And then life has its way of coming in and hitting us with challenges and setbacks. And we start to doubt. We start to push back. We start to say, well, I don't know. Because when I did this, it
Yeah,
didn't work out. I don't know. Because when I'm
yeah,
pretty soon, that
yeah.
fearless, mindset has been chipped away at. And yeah, your siblings can help really redefine it to remind you to call back to a time when you did overcome something, to call back
Right.
to a time when you did press through and it worked out. And so I think that's what we're kind of honing in on is our siblings are such great resources when it comes to getting on the right side of doubt. So let me kick it back to you and get your thoughts. And then I have one teachable moment that Malachi did, but let me get your thoughts there.
Yeah, so in addition to kind of everything we've laid down, then what we're also talking about when we're getting on the right side of doubt. I said earlier is how we handle it. Well, another layer there was yes, being the older sibling
Hmm.
meant that I couldn't show the impact that doubt has had on other people. So
Hmm.
that fear. So when you talk about fearlessness, it's not that I didn't have doubt. It
Right.
was, well, my little sister ain't finna see doubt beat me.
Right.
My
That's
little sister's
good.
gonna see me face doubt
That's so
like it's
good.
like it's an opponent. And so that's 99% of the fearlessness was
Yes.
not that I didn't think I could get hurt, but that I'm not going to let doubt beat me. So there's this
Yes.
invincible thinking that comes when you're
Hmm.
on the right side of doubt. It doesn't mean you are invincible. It's the invincible thinking that
That's
says,
good.
no, I'm too smart to end up in the hospital with a
Right.
protruding bone. Like
Right.
I'm too smart to end up, looking
Right.
like some type of disfigured, dude because he did some old evil Knievel type
Right.
stuff
Right.
and he lost. Like I'm too smart because that's what invincible thinking says.
That's what
This
it
can't happen to
is.
me. I'm smarter
Right.
than this. And it doesn't matter what it is. It's the invincible. It's that I'm going to face my doubt. One,
Yes.
because
Face it.
I can't let doubt beat me, but
That's so
two,
good.
because I don't want my sibling thinking, watch this,
Mm.
that doubt overcomes our family. Like
Ooh.
we're not going to be that
No.
sibling set that operates in fear because we've
That's so
seen
good.
that.
That's so
We've
good.
seen we've
Yep.
seen generational fear debilitate
Ooh.
families.
Entire
But
generations.
the
Come
Evans
on.
family ain't going to be that.
No.
Like, no. And how do I know? Because Andre's about to do something that should break his neck and kill him dead before he
Right.
hits the ground. But
Right.
he's still going to do it.
He's
And
do it.
the fact that he brought duct tape lets you know that
Right.
even if there's
Right.
a bone that comes out, he going to tape that joker up and walk away. He brought
Limp
duct tape
away.
and tussin. Duct
Right.
tape and tussin. Everything's going in my Kendrick Lamar. If God got us, then we gonna be all
All
right.
right. That's right.
That's it. That's it.
Robitussin.
That's it. Because for me, so much for me, and I think this definitely does play into me being an introvert. So all my introvert siblings out there can
Mhm.
probably can tap into this.
Mhm.
To me, the wrong side of doubt means self-doubt.
Ooh,
And if I have
good.
self-doubt, then I'm in
Good.
this state of uncertainty. Watch this, about the truth of anything concerning myself. That's
Mhm.
what self-doubt meant
That's
to me.
good.
So, man, I'm telling you, there are, we all have insecurities, and
Yeah.
Sharonda and I actually were have talked about insecurities a few times, and she knows me. She'll say all the time, I can't, how is that an insecurity? And I often say to her, and I say to everyone, who's listening right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's because I look at my insecurity and say, I'm not giving shy down to you.
Mm.
I'm going to go all out in what you think I'm insecure about.
Wow, that's
I'm going to
good.
go all out in it.
Yeah.
Like, so if I'm insecure with my dad bod, I'm going
Right.
to the pool in Speedos. I'm going
Right.
into pool in Speedos. And that's just me.
Bleh.
I don't care. Because what I'm not going to do is give in to an insecurity,
Oh,
because
I
to me,
love it.
then it begins to cause me to have uncertainty about the truth concerning anything about myself. My
That's so good.
thoughts can absolutely get in the way of my truth, could get in the way and redefine or reposition, I should say, my emotions, which then reposition me on the wrong
Yeah.
side of doubt. And now I'm afraid and I won't do
Mm-hmm.
anything. I won't take a chance. I won't take a risk. I won't take an opportunity that God sent that's perfect for me. But doubt says, I don't know. That's a lie. What you're uncertain about is
Mm-hmm.
how you're going to get through, because to me, it's not about pass or fail the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's about trying. Did you give
Trying
it an
the
attempt?
effort. That's so
And
good.
even if
Yeah.
it didn't
Yeah.
come out, and I'm doing air quotes here, successful, did you learn? So
Yeah.
the next opportunity, it
Yeah.
will be successful.
That's
But
so good.
doubt, if you're on the wrong side of doubt, you've
You won't even
already
try.
failed, because you won't
Yeah.
even try.
That's so
You won't
good.
even try. And
Woo.
then you start
Jesus.
justifying your emotions instead
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
facing the issue, facing the doubt with your truth. You start justifying the
Mm-hmm.
opinions that
Mm-hmm.
people have about you, or the opinions you have about yourself. And the opinion, you start justifying why your worldview has changed and your self view has changed, because uncertainty
Yeah.
leads to instability
Yep.
in my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions towards self. And I'm not saying that you'll never have doubt, you'll never have self-doubt, you'll never be on the wrong
Right.
side of doubt, because
No.
we're
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
We're absolutely human.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I'm going to kick it back to you. You said you had a teachable moment.
Everything you just said culminates in this story with your nephew. Everything from invincibility and the perspective of, of doubt and how you come up with strategies to overcome it. So Malachi, he takes swimming classes, and one
Right.
of his friends in the swimming class showed up, to class, and I could see when he came in with his mom that he had like some scars, like his lip looked like it had been busted.
Oh,
Think he
Lord.
had like a scuffs on his eyes or something, but you could clearly tell he had he had been through something.
Oh,
And
Lord.
so it's like, And so they went on, and so the kids get into the pool, and when his mom sits next to me, I kind of gently lean in, like,
How's home life?
everything okay? How's
Right.
how's little man? And she says, "Girl, he can't watch YouTube for at least a year." And
Oh,
she
Lord.
proceeds to break down how he had, and this is again a testament to the YouTube generation versus our generation, just how we
Mhm.
process things. But her son had watched a YouTube where I guess a young man was doing this kind of experiment where he had a fan and he had a sheet that he had tied
Oh,
around his
Lord
neck like a
Jesus.
cape. And I guess he proceeded to jump off maybe his bunk bed or something. And when he did it in the YouTube video, he was
It looked
flying. He
cool.
was Superman. He was, he was every superhero in Marvel all combined. It was beautiful. And so her son, being of that YouTube generation, decides what? Anything you can do, I can do better.
Right.
So he does the same thing. And that's what I guess lands him in urgent care. I think that she said he had
Exactly.
his tooth was chipped. But so that leads us to that day when we see him all bloodied and bruised. And so his mom was like, so he can't watch YouTube. Me and his dad talked to him. Was like, why would you think you could know? So all that. So we finished the class, and I decide, being the little mama bear I am, that I'm gonna teach your nephew. I'm gonna use this as a teachable moment, right?
Oh,
So
Lord.
we're in the car, and I'm like, you see what happened to your friend? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And he thought he could do the cape and the fan and jump. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's why everything you watch on YouTube, you just can't do that. I said, how you feel about that? And he looks at me, and he goes, yeah. He just needed a bigger fan. I said, no. What is no? Not what we're talking. But what I love about Malachi is everything you just said, bro. You was like, we're not looking at the doubt. That was his experience.
That's his experience.
I'm already strategizing on how I'm going to succeed.
I'm finna R. Kelly this joint. I believe I can fly. I'm finna R. Kelly this joint.
I got two sheets sewed together, a bigger fan, a higher velocity to jump off the bunk bed. Like, he's processing, how can I make it work? So
Right.
it just
He's learning from others' mistakes.
Yes.
That's all he's doing.
He
That's
had
how you
no
handle
doubt.
doubt.
I figured he was going to be like, yeah, you can't do that. It wasn't even on his mindset.
Listen. He said, I got a mama for a director. I
Right.
know how to make this work.
So even with camera angles, I'm going to lay
Right.
here and you shoot low. Then you cut
You
to
two
then
ain't
me
seen
here.
nothing yet.
Right? It's just like, I was telling
This
him, I'm
going-
like, this isn't real.
This flight of the nephew is going straight to National Geographic or History Channel. I don't know. Y'all finna get paid.
I said
Listen,
he wasn't
don't you
wavering at
stunt
all.
my nephew's growth.
He wasn't
I'm
wavering at
gonna
all.
be there.
He was like, I'm going to be 2.0 in a minute. I said, I'm going to help him out. I'm going to help him along. He'll know how to
Right.
do it next time. So I love it. But yeah, that's definitely the culmination is you have to have the right mindset of doubt. But let's go ahead and jump into our sponsorship, which is none other than S2 Mediaworks. It is a media production company co-founded by my brother and I, and it's dedicated to creating content that educates, that empowers, that inspires, and encourages positive living. And we love to do that through original narratives. Our mission at S2 Mediaworks, we want to provide you guys with transformational education and resources to live a healthy and productive life as we're giving you guys these amazing stories. At least we hope they're amazing. We're dedicated to creating life-changing, life-giving content in everything that we do. And as Bro mentioned, we have docuseries on tap, we have books on tap. So we're just excited to share our slate, our lineup through the production company. And this podcast, the Savage Siblings Podcast, is part of that slate. And so as always, we're so glad you guys are listening in. And please continue to stay tuned. So glad you're with us for this episode. Bro, you ready to get savage?
Let's go ahead and get savage. So the name of, again, this episode is The Right Side of Doubt, which suggests that there is a wrong side that most of us find ourselves on. And so then what we've got to realize then is, what is the purpose of doubt, right? So we kind of defined and put layers to doubt, where it comes from, how it impacts, what your response might be.
Yeah.
But there really is a purpose for doubt. As I said in the beginning, there's doubt. To me, doubt sometimes is a good thing if you're on the right side.
Yeah.
One of the things that's tough, and I think is a primary purpose of doubt, is that doubt has to show us that you are actually capable of being physically or emotionally wounded.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
Doubt has to show you that, you know what? There's some times where you can get hurt. There's some times where, the risk, it really is a risk.
Yeah.
You're not just saying that. Doubt has to show you that you're human. Doubt has to show you that you are vulnerable. And you're vulnerable to pain, whether that's emotional pain, physical pain, mental pain, spiritual pain. It doesn't matter. Doubt says you're at a pivotal moment and then asks, well, what you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
What you going to do?
Yeah.
Because the next step you take definitely leads to success. Failure leads to hurt, joy. It leads to tears from crying, or it also can lead to tears from laughing. But what are you going to do? And so when we look at being on the right side of doubt, I've had to learn, Nikki, to place doubt in my doubt.
That's good.
Another way, what I've had to learn is ways to use doubt to my advantage.
Yeah. Yep.
And because either way it goes, doubt feeds into your self-consciousness. It feeds 100%. Into your mindset. Yeah. It feeds into your thoughts of yourself. And therefore then begins to impact, your thoughts towards whatever the situation is or whatever the circumstance is. But it starts with just kind of your self-awareness, your self-consciousness. And so you got to that's that moment where you got to take advantage of. Another reason why, the other purpose that doubt has is because doubt brings an opportunity, right? You don't have doubt where there's no opportunity. I want you to really think about that. That's so if you ain't got nothing going on in life, you have no reason to doubt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you people that ain't got no doubt are the people I'm looking at on the couch like, you gonna do something today? Right. Like, you gonna improve your life somehow? But those of us that are trying real things in life, those that are really trying to improve, really trying to be better, really trying to go to the next level, doubt says, here's your opportunity.
Yep.
And that's insane
That's
to
so
me
good. So
when you
good.
really think about it. It's doubt that says this is your opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it wasn't going to challenge you to be better, you'd have no doubt.
Yep. It wouldn't.
If
Yep.
it wasn't an opportunity to go higher, there would be no doubt. So doubt steps up and says, take a chance, or, fear about, what is that? FOMO, fear of missing
FOMO,
out,
fear of
miss
missing
out,
out. Yeah. Yeah.
miss out, take
Yep.
a chance and miss out. I
Mhm.
remember a quote from Maya Angelou. Oh my gosh. I love her. I've loved her. I think we talked about this in another episode. Remember when you read a poem of hers and
Yes.
from when the opening of her library, and so ever since then I've always just really followed her. We were so young that I didn't know in depth about Maya Angelou.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know a lot, but I followed her ever since meeting her, and you got you weren't you the only one that did the poem? I
Yes.
think so. Yeah, opening up her library in the Dub K, Wichita, Kansas.
Dub
Shout out
key.
to all my Wichita people. Yeah, and you opened up her library with in
Mm-hmm.
her presence, reading her poem,
Oh
and I started following her since
Mm-hmm.
then.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the greatest quotes that one of the greatest lines from her poems that I love quoting
Mm-hmm.
says, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it's gone through to achieve that beauty."
So good. Yep.
That fully, for me, describes doubt.
Yep. Yep.
Meaning, the caterpillar had to go through some stuff
Come on.
just to
Yes.
get to the cocoon, just to
100%.
get to the cocoon.
Yep. Yep.
And there's something inside of the cocoon we never get to see, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
transformation.
Yep.
That's a redefinition of who that caterpillar believes themselves to be. Because when it comes out of that cocoon, it comes out a beautiful butterfly. It comes out totally changed.
Yep.
To me, there are so many people that see doubt in the opportunity, and they never emerge from the cocoon,
Right.
transform,
Yep. Yep.
or they never even make it to the cocoon.
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Best, you best believe anything you want to achieve, it started with doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But what side of doubt are you going to be on? The side that transforms you into your destiny,
Mm-hmm.
or the side that destroys and debilitates you because of fear? And so what I've learned to do is start by placing doubt in the doubt. Do we know how to place doubt in our doubt?
It's so good. And I love that you bring up the Maya Angelou story, because that I was terrified when they called me
Yeah.
and asked me to do it. And I'm not like, I was terrified, but just like you said, when you choose to stop and step back and say, okay, let me actually assess this. And that is when you poke holes in the doubt and you start saying, okay, really it comes down to, is there something I'm choosing to believe that's a lie? Is there something in this breakdown that I'm believing is truth that's really a lie? And if so, that's where I want to continue to poke holes in it. And it does mean you have to start and
Absolutely.
say it. So when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, why are you terrified? Well, one, it's Maya Angelou. All right, check that off the box. Cool. That's who she is. She's established. She's
Right.
amazing.
And
That's just
the
it.
thing about that is she's not gonna stop being Maya Angelou
She's
just
not
because you
gonna stop.
afraid.
Come on now.
Come on,
She's not gonna
go on,
stop.
finish
I was
it.
like, breathe into it, acknowledge it, be excited about it, and move on. And I was like, okay, two, I'm performing in front of her, but I'm performing her own work. And I kept thinking,
Come
why can't I
on.
just write something original? Right? Let me write my
Yeah.
own stuff. And then that way she could be like, that's terrible. You're terrible. It's like, it's her work. And there was that standard,
Right.
but it was like, why not be her work? That is what's
Absolutely.
made her great. This is a tribute. This is
The library's named after her.
It's like, why not celebrate her work and
Right.
her? And so I started to, again, poke holes in it. Like, the things that you're talking about don't matter. What matters is that
Right.
you've been gifted and equipped to do it. You've got the support of your teachers, your drama teachers. All of them have said, hey, we got you. We're going to rehearse with you. All you have to do is show up and trust that it's all going to work out. And then I remember you being in the audience, bro, just smiling way at the back. And I was like,
Absolutely.
okay. And I just realized it doesn't, however this plays, I've prepared, I have what I need, I'm going to execute and do what I need to do. And that's the idea, is you're poking holes. So you have to really stop and contend with, what is it that I'm really feeling? And
See,
that's what I had to do. Mm-hmm.
I love, and let's just real quick, and I'm gonna let you get
Yeah.
back to it. I love the first 2 points you made, and I already spoke on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Maya Angelou's not gonna stop being Maya Angelou just
Come
because you're
on.
scared.
Come
But can
on.
you still be you even
Anitra.
in the face of your fear?
That's
Not
it.
only that, but then you're reading her work. Now, see, I know somebody just missed what I said.
Teach.
Her work is
Is
going to do what
already.
her work is going to do, and it's already done.
What they say in the South,
Your-
already.
Your skill is to do what? Read. Can you read? Yes.
you
Then
read
you
it.
can do this.
Then you good.
Then you can do this. Can you
You
read?
good.
Yes. You can do this. I promise you, you can do. And that's what debilitates so many of us.
Yes.
The opportunity is going to be the opportunity. The
Ooh,
opportunity
good.
already has the provision. Well, what do you have to do? Put it together. Can you put things together?
Yes.
Yes. Then put it
Then
together.
put it together.
Get on the right side of doubt.
And that's poking
Face that
holes.
joker.
It's taking the
That's
time to go
absolutely.
through that checklist, to go through those thoughts, even if you have to do it in a safe place with a friend, a sibling, a spouse, a counselor, whatever. Spend the time doing it, and then you build the muscle, right? You start to learn every time doubt tries to, and we already established it's going to be a part of life. Every time I need to assess what side I'm on, you go ahead and start working on that checklist and start identifying the lie. And I love that Burbo said that I was, can you do what you gonna do? Miss Angela's,
Right.
going to do what she does, and her work going to do what it does. And sure enough, when I stood up there, before I even said a word, the people were just like, woo! Because they were excited to hear her work. It didn't even matter if they knew me. They were like, ah! Like, they had to quiet them down. Like, okay, let her start.
That's like,
and by then, I was rested.
See, it's like when I get up to preach sometimes, all I got to do is mention the scripture. God's word going to do what it do. And they be like, ooh, ow, I ain't said a word. I ain't said a word. I be like, Nahum. Ooh, you ain't read Nahum your whole life.
It'd be Obadiah. It'd be some random.
Obadiah. Ooh. Like, really? Jude. Okay, whatever.
And that's the beauty of God too, where he's saying, I want you to be your authentic self and get on the right side of doubt, because I've already set up the space for you. I've already established the opportunity. And like you said, bro, those opportunities, the environment, God's going to do his thing too. So I love that you bring up that example. And it was a blessing. It's something I still to this day carry, deeply in my heart, because what an honor. What an honor to do that. And I always say this, she then gave me an autographed book of some of her poems. And, she wrote, her autograph, but then she put the word joy, underneath it.
Oh, yeah.
And, listen, typically someone wrote that, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. But when Maya Angelou picks a word,
right.
You could spend 2 weeks processing joy.
Listen, a Maya Angelou joy will carry you just as long as the joy of the Lord. Are you kidding me?
Listen, you will use that to fuel you for the next year.
I would carry that book in my back pocket the rest of my life. Anytime someone get on my nerves, I'll be like, but Maya Angelou gave me joy. You didn't give it to me, and you can't take it away.
Get away from me. I'm telling you, that'll fuel you on. So it was such a beautiful example. But I definitely, to answer your question, you have to, poking holes in doubt is analyzing. It's stopping. And the thing is, what we do is we try to isolate or shut down or just avoid. But you have to actually stop, 10 toes down, and look at that circumstance dead in the face and say, okay, what's really at play here? And how can I strip that and break it down to where I need to be?
That is so powerful because, and I love what you laid down. If I can just take it to a depth, and I'll be quiet and let you finish.
No, you're good.
There's this, oh my gosh, there's this moment of doubt, and I'm gonna call it self-doubt, where it actually is helpful. I want to make sure that they heard what you said, Nikki. You said this word evaluation. When doubt leads you to evaluate, what it also does is it challenges you to be impulsive. Because some of us will quit before we start, and that's an impulsivity.
That's so good. That's it.
That's an impulsivity. You didn't even try. You quit before you evaluated. Evaluation challenges you to look at impulsivity and say, you can't lead this moment right now. Evaluation of the doubt also then tests the validity and the irrationality of some of your thinking. No, I'm serious, because again, I'm looking at some of the situations where I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do that. And here's the thing about doubt. Doubt is simply saying, no, whatever it is that you think you can't do, That, what it's shining a light on,
Mhm.
is about you,
It's about you.
not about what you
Don't
got to
miss out.
do.
Yes, yes.
Because what you got to do, it's going to do what it's going to do, baby. But
Mhm.
you are the one you're shining a light on. What do you
Mhm.
believe about yourself?
About
So
yourself.
sometimes doubt is there when you're on the right side of doubt. Sometimes doubt is there also to protect you from your own self-defeating thoughts, your
Ooh,
own
thank you, Father.
self-discourage. Sometimes doubt is there to protect you
Yeah,
from the humiliation, watch
yeah,
this, of
yeah.
not even trying.
Ooh,
Think
God.
about how many times you've lived with the regret that you didn't
Mhm,
even try.
mhm.
Man, I really wish I had that. Why don't you
That's
have
so
it? Because
good.
I ain't even try. Doubt, doubt
Yeah,
cause you to look at yourself and say, I'm not even gonna give this an attempt.
that's
So
so good.
no, you gotta poke holes, and you poke holes. That's why that's the right side of doubt. Doubt sometimes is a good thing, because if you evaluate, you
Yeah.
poke holes in the doubt. You start to doubt the actual doubt.
I actually want to share a story about Prince. You guys know my brother and I, our family, we are diehard Prince fans. Rest in peace. We love his work.
Yes, absolutely.
And I was reading an article about Prince, and this was a while back, but he was talking about growing up, how he was, I don't think he would use the word, I don't think he used the word bullied, but just how people picked on him. And they picked
Sure.
on him for his style, for his the way he looked, the way he
Yes.
dressed, kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
his whole vibe that he was obviously was in him when he was younger. And in the interview, when he was talking about his past in this way, they were asking him questions about how he got to his style, those heels and the way he
Mm-hmm.
dressed and his
Mm-hmm.
hair and all the things that we loved about Prince. And it was
Right.
interesting to hear him say that at that time when it happened and it hurt him so much that he actually the way he dealt with that was he leaned
Right.
in. He actually
Leaned in.
pressed in and said, well, I'm going to even become more of who I think I'm supposed
Right.
to be. I'm even
Who
going
you
to
hate.
dig in to this person that you guys clearly don't seem to like or constantly challenging. And he said that was the only way that he really knew how to cope with it. Right.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
kept thinking, wow, what a profound decision to face doubt in that way that says everybody
Mm.
else outside of me is saying, this is whack. What you're doing, the way you look, your style, the way you talk, the way you dress, all of it is whack, or we don't understand it. We don't like it. It
Right.
doesn't jive with us. And rather than allowing that to put him into a corner of doubt and put him into a corner of isolation and put him to a space of no longer learning how to be his authentic self, because it really is a journey that we all go
It
on. You're
is. It
learning how
is.
you be your authentic you. He decided, I'm going to lean in. And this is what's so dope about the lean in, y'all, is he's leaning in, still not knowing what the outcome will be.
That's
He's
it.
leaning in, still not knowing, will it be worse? Will they now, put hands on me? Will they do more? It didn't matter. He was like, I'm
Right.
going to keep being, myself. And I remember, and now it's probably been about 10 years, maybe longer than that. But Prince performed here in LA at the Forum.
Mm.
And it was like a 3 or 4 week run. He decided to do $25 tickets and he just
Oh my
stayed
God.
longer. So rather than
Oh my
having
God.
like 1 or 2 weekends and the tickets were expensive, he really wanted everyone to be able to come and enjoy. He loved the Forum. And so I think I went like 2 or 3 times, right, to these
Nice.
$25 tickets. And I just loved the performance. And I was telling my ex-husband's dad, my father-in-law, about, the concert. And he told me the story, bro. He said, I
Mm-hmm.
remember Prince. And he didn't call him Prince. He called him the other form of Negro. He said, I remember that Negro. And he saw Prince perform before he became the Prince that we all know and love. He saw him when he
Right.
wasn't a headliner. He saw him when he was an
Right.
unknown.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he said that Negro walked out there on that stage at the Forum, and he said he was wearing them breeches that it's your booty be out. Like, now, he wasn't saying the words I'm using.
Right.
He
Right.
being
Right.
very direct. But the bootyless breeches, or the
Bootyless
bootyless
chaps.
pants. Right, there we go. And he said they booed him off the stage. He said we threw cans, we threw bottles. Because this is, my
Right.
father-in-law, he's well into his 60s, 70s. So you can do the math there on how long ago that was. And so
Right.
we didn't know, and he didn't know. And he said before they got him off the stage, because they were throwing stuff, they were cursing him out. They were like,
Mm-hmm.
this Negro and these chapless, or these bootyless chaps he's wearing,
Yeah.
get off that stage. And he said Prince turned around and he said, one day you guys are going to pay to come back here to see me play. And he walked off the stage. And so my
Mm-mm-mm.
father-in-law said, that Negro was right.
Right.
We came back.
Right. Right.
And I was laughing because I was thinking, and I think what brought the conversation up was the fact that I had just seen him perform at the Forum. And obviously he had been there, decades past. And, he's now Prince.
Mhm.
But think about if he had if he had gotten to the wrong side of doubt
Right.
when he
Right.
was
Right.
trying to
Right.
figure out who his authentic self would be.
He comes out in this style.
Yeah.
He made the style. So how do you contrast the doubt? How do you contrast the wrong side of doubt?
And I love what you said. And yes, for me as well, it's faith. But I think the phrase I want to put out here when you're contrasting doubt is what you really are doing is building confidence. So
Oh, that's
for
good.
Bro and
That's
I,
good.
we're building confidence in God. We're building confidence in the God in us. We're building confidence in the better. And so
Yeah.
every time you go through the building the muscle and the exercise and the practice of, again, poking the holes in the doubt, identifying the lie, being vulnerable so you can fill the void with the things that will make you your better self, you are building your confidence in the better version of you, in the better
Mhm.
version of your future. So it's a practice. It's built,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
building. And the more that you do it, that confidence, then you start to, becomes more muscle memory to start to identify, the lie quickly. Now you hear doubt creeping in faster so you can respond to it. And
Mhm.
more importantly, because the whole thing is about relationships and life and community, you can help
Sure.
someone else when you get to where you have now built the muscle of building confidence and pushing against faith pushing against doubt and being on the right side of doubt. Now you can teach somebody else how to do that as well. Now you can smell it, before it comes
Yeah.
out of their
Yeah.
mouth. You can smell that's the wrong side of doubt for that person. Let me help you. Why? Because I've been through it. I've gone through this practice. And so I've been able to build confidence in the better version of me or build confidence in the God, because that's about faith. It is. It is.
Absolutely.
Even
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
those of us that are, spiritually inclined or, have faith in God in that way, we are developing a relationship with him where he's saying, hey, try me. See where it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
means we got to step out there and see. If you said, I can write this, you said, I can do this, I trust you, God. And in trusting you, each time he delivers, I'm building my confidence in him. I'm building confidence in what he authentically put in Anitra. It's a practice. It's a lifestyle.
Absolutely
It
is.
takes
Absolutely
steps
is.
to do it. And what the wrong side of doubt wants you to do is just like my brother said, just stop at doubt, stop at the lie, and just sit there. And what's so important that God does for us is that he wants to have moments that doubt has to step in because he understands your faith in me can never be tested if you're not
Right.
having some level of doubt. If I know it's going to work out, if I know everything's going to be great, if I know I'm going to make $1 million,
Mhm.
if I
Mhm.
know
Mhm.
I can do it, if everything in me singularly is I know it can happen, where is the doubt? Where
Right.
is the need to build
Right.
confidence in God or to build my faith? It doesn't exist. So,
Right.
the whole conversation is we have to understand that the healthy, presentation of doubt should ideally push you to your better self. And then that's where there's a testing, that's required.
So just before we get into the transformational perspective,
We're going to jump into our transformational perspective right here. And so we've been talking about getting on the right side of doubt and how you can use doubt in a healthy way to birth God confidence, good confidence, transformational living, all the above. But we always want to present a counterpoint. Sometimes I might be right to doubt, bro. Sometimes I looked at the situation, it's problematic. I doubted it and it made sense to doubt it. So what do you say for those of us who are like, we were right to doubt it? That's a good space, and I'm not hearing you on all this opposite stuff that I was right to doubt.
Right. There's a saying we have in the country that says, "There's no patch for human stupidity quilts."
Right.
So, and what that saying is stating essentially is doubt is good sometimes because it keeps you from looking like an idiot, like every other part of the quilt.
Right.
So every now and then, no, doubt's a great thing. I was
Right.
right to doubt this because when I step back and look at the entire quilt, it looked stupid. So sometimes doubt, yes, absolutely doubt's a good thing because it was never going to lead to anything of greatness.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was dumb from the start.
Right.
It was foolish from the start. Right? So yes, no, doubt, absolutely. You are right to doubt something. in the form of that doubt keeps you from taking the chance. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, doubt's a good thing. Doubt debilitating you making the decision. Sometimes it's a great thing. But to me, those moments where doubt is a good thing, they didn't lead you to shame or embarrassment. They kept you from it. Like they absolutely kept you from it. Because listen, how many of y'all, and I can see your hands raising even when I can't see them. How many of you been burnt because we let something foolish stand in the place of faith?
Yep.
How many of you been burnt because sometimes when we doubt, it's a good thing, because then I'm gonna tell you something. Facebook has taught me that I was right to doubt a lot of things 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you see that play out.
Okay.
20 years later, like, oh, that's where we at.
Okay. My like isn't because I like what you're going through. My like is because you tried to get me to go through it with you 20 years ago.
Yourself on the back.
I said no. Right. I like myself.
Patting myself
I
on the back.
love that I did not get involved in this.
Good doubt.
Absolutely.
Bro, what do we have for like the bottom line as we culminate that?
Well, it's definitely kind of piggybacking off of what you just said. Doubt really is a placeholder, right? So doubt is saying, let me pause life for a second.
Yeah,
you're going to get on the right side of it, or you're going to get on the wrong side of it. So doubt is this placeholder. I'm going to pause because here's an opportunity. What are you going to do? And if I'm on the wrong side of doubt, then that placeholder remains a placeholder because you end up stagnant, because you won't go any further.
That's
because
good.
Doubt says, I need everybody to hear this. Doubt is not about being positive or negative. Doubt is saying, I can't move forward till you deal with me.
Yeah.
I'm a placeholder. If
good.
you don't deal with me, doubt doesn't magically leave.
That's
it
good.
Stays.
Yep.
It stays, and your life is in a stagnant position.
Yeah.
Doubt says, until you get on the right side of me, you're not going to move. So whereas doubt is a placeholder, faith is a person mover. Belief is a person mover.
That's good.
Confidence is a person mover. So doubt says, you want to move me? Move yourself. How you going to move yourself? Get on the right side of me and watch you be able to move mountains, be able to open doors, be able to tear down walls, be able to tear up and remove ceilings. Most of the people who are making, these what do you call them? Trailblazers. The first woman to do this, the first black person to do that, first Hispanic to do this, the first man to do that. These are people that got on the right side of doubt. That's all they did. They got on the right side of doubt, because on the wrong side of doubt, doubt didn't magically disappear. Doubt said, I'm staying here till you deal with me.
Yeah.
And they said, I'm getting past you. How? Faith, confidence, belief, determination, courage. All of these things move you to the correct side of doubt.
Okay. And with that, let's jump into our quick shot. All right. So for me, for the quick shot, in the spirit of seeds of doubt, or getting on the good or the right and the wrong side of doubt, I want to present a couple scenarios where you get to choose. Do you trust the doubt, and go ahead and make the adjustment because the doubt was, properly placed? Or do you lean into that initial thought or action? Because we all have had these scenarios where there's a pause and we have to say, okay, wait a minute. Should I not? So these are scenarios. And after I present the scenario, then you can say, yeah, I'm going to trust that doubt and adjust or pivot, or no, I'm going to lean in. I'm going to lean into that scenario.
Okay.
All right. So here's the first one. As a child, you said something inappropriate or rude in front of your mama, and she turns to you and says, say that again.
Oh, no, I'm going to trust that. I'm going to adjust and not listen. For our Hue-less listeners, those who don't have a hue to you, right? There are certain conversations that are had in Hue-endowed families where when they say stuff like, say it again,
right?
You don't want to say it again.
You do not say it again.
You do not say it again. When they say stuff like, oh, you got the right one, You do not
You
have
don't
the right
have the right
one.
one.
You do not have the right one. So no, I'm not leaning into that. No, absolutely not.
Listen,
No,
I
absolutely
will get
not.
amnesia in a minute. Be like, huh?
What did I
What'd
say?
you say, Ma?
I don't remember saying anything.
I thought we was talking about church. We talking about
Right.
Jesus?
Right.
I love it.
I remember one time, this is when I was married, Katina said to, I believe it was Corey, who said something under her mouth, her breath. And I think Katina said something like, "You talking to me?" And
Right.
Corey, being well-versed and learned at the age of 2.5, says,
Right.
"No, I was talking to Jesus."
Right.
Like,
She
like, yeah,
understood.
baby, coming to you now.
The brilliance was
You'd
already
be
on
better off
display.
talking to the God that will forgive than the
Right.
mama that won't forgive.
That will lay hands, right?
Right. You better be talking to Jesus. Forgive her, Father, for she know what she do.
He's like, I already
your
did. I already
mama,
forgave her.
right?
Already
Your
got
mama like, oh no, spare the rod, spoil the child.
I love it. Yeah, no, we definitely not leaning in. We're going to lean into that doubt. Okay, second example. This is a classic example, and unfortunately, often, hits husbands, but
Okay.
your wife, I want to establish the
Oh,
relationship, your wife puts on an outfit that, it's probably a
Lord.
little too tight, a little snug in all the right places, the wrong places. She turns to you and gently asks you, how am I looking? Does this dress, make me look fat? What say you, husband?
I'm adjusted. My wife has no outfits that make her look fat. None.
None.
How about that? How about that?
She always look good.
Oh,
Listen,
they look good.
I'm going to tell you, my ex-husband, he used to always crack me up. And I would say that same question when I put something on that was clearly too tight. He would be like, I keep telling you that dryer, that heat be too high. It's shrinking all our clothes. I was telling you we got to get a new dryer. And I'd be like, I'm going to go change. I'm just going to go change because clearly you didn't put it on the dryer. What he's not going to do, be like, I look fat. So y'all can use that one.
I'm blaming Maytag.
Right? Exactly. I'm like, I'll just change. Okay, here's another one. Your child enters a fitness challenge where he is
Lord.
clearly outmatched. Outmatched. He says, Dad, I'm happy to go for the participation ribbon. What say you, Father?
I'm not leaning into that. I'm sorry. I am not this new generation of participate. What is it? I can't even say the word. I am not. I am not. Nah, son, you suck. Let's pick another sport. Let's pick another sport.
Let's put him in chess.
Right. Right.
Oh, I love it. I agree with you that. No, I'm leaning in on that one. I'm like, nope, let me pull you out. Let's find something else for you to do. All right, this is for our church folk. And you'll get this one, Pastor. So, in the Bible, Abraham is your friend.
Okay.
And he is seeking your advice about Sarah's Hagar request.
Okay.
Let me unpack that story for those who may not know. He's coming to you saying, what you think, Doc? What should I do? So Sarah and Abraham were promised children. They had gotten well into their 90s and they still had not had children. And so Sarah was, doubting God. She was frustrated. She was hurt. At that point, she's like, I can't have kids anymore. So with her frustration, she has a servant, a female servant named Hagar, who she says, well, because God has promised us kids, it's not happening in my timing now that I'm 90 and he's 90. I'm going to just tell him, hey, go ahead and you can have Hagar so we can have some children and build this air quotes legacy that God has promised to us. So this is now Abraham comes to you, his friend, and says, what you think I should do? What's your perspective on my wife's suggestion request? You leaning in or you like, nope, trust that doubt?
I'm going to be like, hey, your wife told you to do it. Go on, lean in, brother. Go on in. Go.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. Go. You know how many of us have gotten a pass like that since the Garden of Eden? None.
Right, none.
Lean in, brother. Right. Lean in.
Take advantage.
Lean in.
Dre's like, I see nothing wrong. I see nothing wrong at all.
And if God
go
comes,
forth and
just do what Adam did.
Be
this
wife
multiply. You gave me.
Right.
This wife you gave me.
The woman you
told
gave
me to do this. We have learned since Adam how to blame the wife. This wife you gave me, Lord.
Right.
She said, go on in there with Hagar.
It's like, I am confident this is the right thing to do.
Right. Absolutely.
I love it. All right, this will be our last one so we can wrap out this episode. Okay, you decide that you want to face your fear of online dating. Okay, you're afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, I'm going to face it, and now I'm going to join every single dating app available.
Mm-hmm.
Not just one, but all of them.
Mm-hmm.
What you think, bro? Are you leaning in? Is that truly facing the doubt? Or is that you setting yourself up for some other stuff?
No, I would go on and lean in because the fact of the matter is, if you join one, you setting yourself up for some other stuff. It don't matter how many you join. And plus, to me, that's that. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all out. If I'm gonna listen, if I'm gonna invite drama, I'm inviting soap opera drama. Like I'm inviting all of the drama. Give me all the drama.
The time.
All of the drama.
Give me drama or give me that. I love it.
I'm absolutely leaning in. I'm going all out.
Listen, I'm like, it's too much work. All of it's too much work. I love it. All right, bro, what you got for the final blow?
Okay, so for the final blow, we're talking about doubt, and again, doubt is this placeholder. And what doubt says is, here's an opportunity. Are you going to get on the right side or the wrong side? Doubt in and of itself is not your enemy, right?
Yeah.
It's not your enemy. It reminds me of, we were just talking about Abraham. I'm going to talk about Moses for a second. They're in the wilderness and God is giving them manna so they can eat. But now they're in need of water. And Moses goes up to the tabernacle and he's in front of the presence of God and he's saying, we need to drink. And God says to Moses, go down and speak to the rock. Okay? Remember earlier we were talking about how you contrast doubt is by the words, just having that final vocabulary. God says, go down and speak to the rock. And he says, when you speak to the rock will yield its water. Okay? We got to have that final vocabulary. I'm going to achieve this because I believe in myself. I'm going to do it because I said I'm going to do it. Speaking is that final vocabulary that builds the confidence. Well, Moses goes down to the rock, but he never speaks to the rock because doubt told him that if he speaks to the rock, nothing's going to happen. So instead, what Moses does is he strikes the rock.
Right.
He hits the rock because what he's thinking is well, maybe there's some type of hidden water valve or something in the middle of the rock that God knows about that I don't know about. So he didn't do what faith, he didn't do what confidence, he didn't do what belief told him to do. He did something irrational, which was strike the rock. Now, because he struck the rock, God then speaks to him immediately and says, because you didn't do, you doubted what I told you to do, and you struck the rock, you will not see the promised land. Yeah. And I need that to kind of sink in for a second. God doesn't say to Moses, you're not going to see the promised land because he doubted. That was never the problem. Belief, confidence, faith, all those things can deal with your doubt. Yeah. You've got to deal with your doubt. What caused him not to see the promised land was disobedience, meaning the action.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with doubt. What are you going to do with the doubt? If you're on the wrong side of doubt, that is inaction or an action that will never let you see purpose or promise or success or victory. You got to get on the right side of doubt. And the right side of doubt definitely starts with the confidence, the belief, the faith that says, I can do this. I absolutely can make the best of this opportunity. And that's what then leads you to the promise, the purpose, the victory, all of the things that you're hoping for, praying about, speaking into existence, trying to manifest. All of those things, I promise you, are on the other side of doubt or the right side of doubt. Yeah. So that for me is a final blow.
I love it. Well, we've come to the end of the episode, and as always, we thank you so much for joining us. Please help us build the Savage Siblings community. We want you to like, to share, to comment, leave a review, subscribe, and send this episode to your favorite Savage siblings. Perhaps you have some examples of some unhealthy doubts led you to productive decisions, or perhaps you have a couple examples of the hashtag I doubt that scenarios. We want to hear about it. We want to know what doubts you're struggling with. And if there's some other episode topics you think would be interesting for Savage siblings, please shout us out. Let us know that as well. A huge shout out to our amazing team, the folks that make all this possible. Dwayne McClendon and Kyle Davis, our sound editors.
Wow.
Ronnie Maxwell of Maxwell Music, our music producer. Keith Cross of K-Cross Photography for doing the amazing photos you guys are seeing. And of course, we always want to thank our parents for their DNA, for all the funny life lessons. And of course, you, the listeners, we would not be here without you. We're glad you're here. So until next time, we'll see you soon. And remember, don't go through life alone. Take care.
See y'all. Peace.